which I'm going to talk about. So we'll be talking about this, and we'll have a great time together. As I told you earlier, we are going to call it conflict resolution instead of calling it conflict management. We'll call it as a conflict resolution. Being conflict, I mean to say having conflict with each other, with the management, with the colleagues, or self conflicted mind, that may be a troublesome because it affects badly adversely towards the productivity of an individual. Might be possible that the conflicts are there due to some reasons. The reasons might be differences in the opinion, might be some greed, with the reason behind that. The reason may be some fear of being hijacked by someone's growth, or maybe the reasons, there are several reasons, various reasons we'll be talking about. And we'll let you know, I mean to say I'll let you know the areas of improvement and the areas where we can focus, and we can ensure that there is a zero conflict or no conflict. Because if we have conflict, then our focus will be only on that conflict, and our mind, it goes into negativity, and it focuses on the things which cannot be done. Now, before moving ahead, let us understand how to deal with the people. I recommend everyone to please start your camera for a certain seconds. If possible, please start your camera and fold your hands. Fold your hands like this. Look at this. It's a simple activity. I request you to fold your hands in a simple way. I can see certain cameras have been started and they're folding their hands. Now I ask you to change the position of your hands. Change the position of your hands. Earlier it was like this. I request you to change the position of your hands. Okay, it's quite simple. That's fine. You may put it down. You may switch off the cameras. My question to you, which position did you feel comfortable in, first or the second? If you felt comfortable in the first position, please type 1 in the chat box. And if you think that second position was more comfortable for me, please type second, or please type 2 in the chat box. Most of the people are claiming that the first position is quite comfortable for them. If you remember, I told you something about the development of the habit and hobbies yesterday. Second, someone is saying second. Harshavardhan says second. Fine, but other people are there. They are saying the first position is comfortable. Kavya and Sakshi, they are saying second position is comfortable. Now, my question to the people who are saying second position is comfortable, then why didn't you start it at the first time when I asked you to fold your hands? Well, this is not an interrogation. This is just a common question. Is there any particular reason that the second position should have been done first because you felt more comfortable in that? So, what is the reason that you did the exact opposite position of your hands? Any particular reason behind that? Okay, I don't want to have answers from you. This was just a question to this was just a question to make it in lighter mode. But most of the people, they have responded that first position is more comfortable. The reason is simple. If you think about our childhood, our parents, our friends, we have seen the activity of folding hands, and our parents, they have taught us how to fold the hands. Our teachers have asked us to be silent. They have asked us to fold our hands. And the first activity of folding hands is the similar activity throughout the lifetime. Nobody loves to change the positions. And believe me, if I change this position, and most probably the second position may be not comfortable for me, because it takes 7 days to adapt certain changes. Because since my childhood, I'm comfortable in the first position, and most of you are agreed with me that first position is more comfortable. Now, the purpose of conducting this activity is to understand people around you. How do you understand them? Most of the conflicts can be happening only because of not understanding the psychology of people. And how can you understand the psychology of people? It's quite simple. Always have a glance of towards the people who are folding their hands, and always pay attention which hand is at the upper side. Look at this. This is my left hand. In a mirror image, you might see it in a camera in a different way, but this is my left hand side, and this is my right hand side. This is left and this is right. Now, how do you understand that people are emotional, people are practical, and how do you understand that people are great helpers, people are great in support, people are great in innovation? And if you can understand this, believe me, conflict will not happen. And there is no need of managing conflict, there is no need of resolution of the conflict, because we can prevent the conflict. Many people, they focus on how to solve it. Here we'll focus on how to avoid it. How can we avoid it? There are so many people around you. You are always surrounded by most of the people. Some of them are your friends, some of them are your teachers, colleagues, family members. And sometimes what happened that we have a small battle, we have a small exchange of words, and we have a small disagreement with each other. And sometimes we say no, sometimes we say yes, and someone is saying no. So it's a differences in the opinion, and most of the time such differences can leads towards the big battle as well. And some people in anger, they take some wrong decisions, and later on they feel that I shouldn't have done this. So many people in your life, they will come and tell you how to solve the conflicts. Today's session will let you know how to avoid the conflicts. I mean to say, I will let you know how to solve the conflict as well, but most probably we are beginning with how to avoid the conflicts. As I have conducted this activity and asked you to fold your hands, I have asked you to fold your hands. Always look at the people around you. If they're folding their hands, you have to pay attention towards their position of the hands. Check which hand is at the upper side. Look at this. This is my left hand, that is upper side, that is my natural side, means that this is my natural activity. You can understand the people and their emotional intelligence. You can understand the psychology of people. Science says, even psychology says, people who fold their hands, they describe their thought process. And how, let me tell you. If I'm a boy, here I'll write it down for you in Excel. If I'm a boy and I have left hand at my upper side, and if I'm a girl and I have right hand at the upper side, this activity indicates that these people are a bit emotional. They are enthusiastic. They know most of the things. They are knowledgeable. Apart from that, they can think more. However, at the same time, they worry more. They dwell in the past. They get hurt by simple sentences said by someone, but they are very playful. They are poets, we can say. They always think about the future. They are extremely great in innovation, and they can be a great leaders. They can be a great sales guy. They can be a great communicator. They can be a good author, because their imagination is big. So if I find a person who is boy and who has a left hand at the upper side, these people are bit emotional. Therefore, I'll have to ensure that I have to use a word which does not hurt him or her. And believe me, these people are extremely helpful. They will give you everything if they find that you are supporting them. So always focus on the hands folding style. It has been proven in the entire world. There were certain activities conducted by some people, and it has been proven that if a boy has left hand at the upper side, these are bit emotional, and a girl has right hand at the upper side, they are bit emotional. So be careful while dealing with these people. Be careful, because your words cannot be taken back, and you may lose this person for a long time. And these people do not forget what happened with them, and they forgive people, but they remember the lesson learned from that activity. So always remember, you can be careful while dealing with this kind of people. Now the second scenario: boy has a right hand at the upper side, and girl has left hand at the upper side. These people are a bit practical. They have plan B ready for everything. They think in a what do you say, rational way. They do not take the things personally. These people are always in huge demand for leadership, disaster management, police, army, reserve police force, and where the security system is required. These people have problem solving analytical skills. These people think rationally, and these people do not get hurt easily. But at the same time, these people will focus more on the business, they will focus more on the productivity. So you have to deal with many people in your life. So while talking to them, you can decide which kind of words do I have to use. So if left hand at the upper side for the boy, you have to be careful. You don't have to hurt him, or if the girl has a right hand at the upper side, you should be careful not to hurt her as well. And right hand side people for the boys, and left hand at the upper side for the girls, These people will not take the things personally, but at the same time these people will be a little bit disciplined. They will be focusing on their goal, and their life will be goal oriented. So you can discuss with them, and you can decide which kind of language has to be used along with them, so that you can be away from the conflict. But still, it is not possible to check everyone's right hand at the left hand, and you do not get that much time. Being surrounded by colleagues, being surrounded by students, many a times might be possible that uh, we have some conflicts. We have to disagree sometimes. Sometimes we support some people blindly because we love them, we consider them as a motivation, and we think that whatever has been done by this girl or a boy may be a perfect one. Yesterday I had seen one small movie on Hotstar, and the movie name was A Thursday. That's a thriller one that has a good message in the end. That's a good one. But in that movie, there was one school teacher. The school teacher was running kindergarten. She kidnapped some boys, which were there in the school, and other people could not believe. Other people were saying, "ऐसा हो ही नहीं सकता है." The reason is simple. Other people have your image in their mind that you are great for them, you are support for them, you are a motivation for them. So here in this case, people may support you blindly, or might be possible that there are some people who do not support your ideas. So here in this scenario, there are certain ways of managing such kind of people. And how do you manage this? First thing is that in corporate, always remember to have written communication or email communication. Ensure to have all the emails saved in the sandbox, which emails have been sent by you. To avoid the future conflict, to prove certain points, always remember to have email communication done properly. This email communication will ensure that you can manage the future problems, future conflicts can be tackled. To prove certain points, you can use this email communication. And as I told you earlier, if you remember one sentence, talk to each other rather than talking to each other. I mean, talking about each other. I'll repeat the sentence: talk to each other rather than talking about each other. Talk to each other, most of the problems can be solved. Most of the problems are there because many people have some negative image of someone. That may be because of grudges, that may be because of envy, jealousy, whatever it may be, and problems get worse. So ensure that you have to talk to each other, you have to have proper communication, and most probably use the email for the communication in a corporate life, which can help you to solve the problems, or which can help you to tackle most of the problems. Now we are going to learn negotiating skills as well in the second version after the break. And at that time, which the things which we are going to learn, these things can be also useful, which can be utilized to use go for the conflict management. Now here, always remember, while working in any organization, that may be a government, that may be a private, corporate, whatever it may be, always remember one thing: whatever happens with you, that happens with good reasons. At least you can manage the conflicts which are going on in your mind. You cannot change the thought process of other people, but at the same time you can consider one thing in your life: whatever happens in your life, that happens for some good reasons. Let me tell you a small story. This story can help you to understand how is the life and how you can avoid some conflicts. If there are some people who are continuously blaming you for certain things which you haven't done, or might have been done, or could have been done, with some mistakes, some things have happened, and they are blaming you continuously. So in this scenario, I have seen some people, they start crying because others are blaming them. But crying will not help you. But here, one thought process will definitely help you to think that whatever happens in the life, that happens for good reasons. Let me share a beautiful story with you. Once upon a time, Akbar Badshah, he was there in his, what do you say, he was there with some people, and he was listening to the complaints by villagers, complaint by the people, complaints by the subject matlab praja. And suddenly some farmers came there, and they said, Jahapana, we have been facing huge issues because of the drought last year. This year there was a good rain. However, there is another issue, and this issue have been created by some boars, some pigs, suar, dukkar marathit म्हणतात. So pigs are destroying our crops, and these pigs are very big, and these pigs are dangerous for us as well. We are losing everything. Our efforts have been wasted. Our profit will be wasted in future. Means we'll have less amount of profit. What can be done? Akbar Badsha looks at Birbal, and he says, "What can be done, Birbal? What is your solution?" Birbal asked those farmers to come tomorrow in the morning, and Birbal says that I would give you a solution regarding this. So next morning, all these farmers come together. Once again, they say, "Sir, what is your solution? Could you please let us know what is your solution?" So Birbal says, "Sir, we have decided, or I have decided that next week, I mean to say next Sunday, we are going to have a picnic in the jungle." Everybody started laughing. The problem is that these people are complaining and you are talking about picnic. Is this a solution? Birbal says, "Sir, this is a solution. Since long we haven't met our people, we'll be coming together. That will be a get together and we'll be going for hunting. And in hunting, we'll be killing those pigs which are dangerous and which are destroying our crops." This idea was great. Many people say, "Sounds great, fantastic. Let's get together and let's do this activity." Next Sunday morning, all people gathered together in the morning. They had some weapons with them and they were extremely happy. So all these people were led by Akbar Badshah. Akbar Badshah was in his horse, on his horse, I mean to say. And Akbar Badshah says, "Okay, let's go." All people started. Some people were running, some people were on their Rath, Maharath, some people were there on the horses, and everybody started running there. Badshah was excited, and Badshah started running behind one pig, and due to fastest running of the horse, Badsha has lost the control and the horse fell down, and even Badsha fell down. His crown was also broken. He was bleeding. His elbow was bleeding. His hair were disturbed. His face was with the mud. And seeing this, Birbal could not control, and Birbal started laughing. Birbal said, "जहां पना बुरा मत मानिए, जो भी होता है अच्छे के लिए होता है. Whatever happens in your life, that happens for good reason." Akbar Basha got angry, but he controlled his anger because Birbal was an important aspect in his kingdom. So Akbar Basha didn't say anything. But later on, Birbal started laughing continuously, and Basha was angry and he asked you, "What is the reason of laughing that much? I'm bleeding here and you are still laughing." Then Birbal once again says, "Jahan pana maine kaha na, jo bhi hota hai अच्छे के लिए होता है." Then Akbar Basha lost his control. He got furious and he says, "मुझे लगा हुआ है और आप कह रहे जो होता है अच्छे के लिए होता है. Get lost. I don't want to see your face again." Then Birbal also got angry. He said that I had been working here for a long time. I had been entertaining him. I had been supporting him. I had been giving him advices. And he says, "Get lost. I don't want to work with him anymore." In anger, Birbal goes away. And because of that, Badsha becomes more angry. And he says that I will kill that pig anyhow. And he starts once again with the activity. But due to some enthusiasm, Birbal Akbar Badsha was extremely fast. And there was a gap between his disciples and him. And Badsha lost the road. He got lost, and he had been kidnapped by some people who were living in the jungle. And these people have thought that we will sacrifice this for our deity. हम अपनी भगवान को खुश करने के लिए इसे हम सैक्रिफाइस करेंगे, बलि चढ़ाएंगे. और ये बात अकबर को पता चलती है, वो बहुत बुरा लगता है लेकिन कुछ कर नहीं पाता है. So all these people, they gathered together, they were watching, and suddenly the guru of those people in jungle have noticed that Badsha had some wounds here on the elbow, and he said, "This is not the pure sacrifice for us. Our God will not be happy. We are going to release him." And Badsha was extremely happy to know this, and he remembers the sentence said by Birbal, "जो भी होता है अच्छे के लिए होता है." Then he comes back to his palace and he says, "Wherever Birbal is, bring it to me." Birbal comes there and Badsha says, "I would like to say sorry, because of me you had to leave. I'm so sorry." And Badsha narrates all the incidents which were happening with him. So Badsha says, "I would like to say sorry. You are correct. You said that whatever happens, it happens for good. Because of this wound, I have been saved. Otherwise, I would have lost my life." Then Birbal says, "Jahapana, do not say sorry. Do not apologize. Whatever happens, that happens for good. I still believe in that way. If you wouldn't have shouted at me, I wouldn't have lost control and I wouldn't have gone away. Then both of us could have been together. Might be possible that both of us could have been captured together by these people in the jungle. And you have been saved because you had injury here. But I could have lost my life because I was not injured. जो होता है अच्छे के लिए होता है. This process is called as optimistic thought process, optimistic thoughts. This will help you to be away from the conflicts. Whatever happens in your life, in office, in school, in colleges, in house, surrounded along with the friends, that is always with some good reasons. Always find something good in negativity. but many people, they focus on the things which are negative in their life. And when we focus on negative things in the life, most of the things, they are always negative in our life. There is one rule called as a power of mind, or power of your subconscious mind. When we think negative about some situations, about some people, about us, then our subconscious mind gathers all these things, and it is extremely powerful. It gives us command to do something negative in the life, to make mistakes, and we make mistakes. So be careful. You have to be an optimistic. It has been proven that optimistic people live longer. They survive more than other people. Optimistic people, they always look for the opportunity, and they always look for the growth. You have to be an optimistic. Since our childhood, we have been learned with that glass is half full or half empty. Look at this. This is my glass. If this is glass, there is a water level up to this. And we have been taught one activity. If I say it's a half full, then I'm a positive person, right? I'm a positive person. I'm an optimistic. If I say it's a half empty, I'm a pessimist. I'm a negative personality. But if I do not waste my time in looking at that, is it half full or half empty, I come there, I take that glass, and I quench my thirst. People who said that it's a half full, they are optimistic. People who said that it's a half empty, they are pessimist. And people who drink the water, they are opportunist. And believe me, people who focus on the opportunities, they ensure that they have a growth in their life. So to manage the conflict, first thing is that you have to be an optimistic, you have to be opportunist. Take and encash every opportunity which comes because of the conflicts. And at the same time, you might have seen recently that few years before, Malaysia had some issues, some political issues with India. They passed on some conflicted statements with the Kashmir. Few years before, I mean to say few months before, Hyundai has passed on some comments on a Twitter, which was from Pakistan. And Hyundai had to face the music by Indians. And at the same time, Maruti Suzuki, they have sold maximum cars during that time. Hyundai had to face the music by Indian angers. And Indian angry people, they said that it's not allowed. So these other people were like Maruti Suzuki, like Malaysia had issue with India. So at that time, Indonesia said that, or some other countries said that, we'll supply you oil, and we'll give you that oil for the food. I mean to say oil which is necessary for making food. So here you can find that every conflict can create opportunity to other people as well. But many a time your conflict can be troublesome to you, and other people take undue advantage. So ensure that you be away from the conflict, and if that happens, think positively, and ensure that you have to think on let it go or forgive others. Believe me, forgiving others, it needs a courage. It needs big heart. But many people think that I will not let it go. I will remember this. I will ensure that I will take revenge. I'll ensure that you make payment for this, you pay price for this. But that is the disturbance to your soul. Why do you take a revenge? Instead of that, forget and forgive, and ensure that you focus on your growth. Apart from this, ensure that you are aware of your SWOT analysis, which we have seen yesterday. What are your strength? And this strength can help you to manage your stress. And if you can manage the stress, believe me, nothing is impossible in the world. Because stress is all about managing the tensions. It is all about performing under the pressure. It is all about building the trust. And this can be done only if you can manage the tensions, and you can manage the conflict. Now here, one more thing I would like to pass on a comment about: emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence, it is all about how do you react to a particular situation, and how do you grab certain things from a particular situation. It's all about sorting the things, managing the differences, managing the different opinions, and respect everyone, and respecting your lifestyle as well. And at the same time, you have a management skill, and you have a leadership skill, you have a decision making skill. All these things come together in the picture, and high emotional intelligence will definitely help you either to avoid the conflict, and if there is a conflict, you can go for root cause analysis. That's called as RCA, root cause analysis. Many people focus on the problems only, and they think that they can find a solution by focusing on the problems. But expert people, they find the roots of problems, and rather than treating some problems, they treat the reasons of problems. This is called as root cause analysis. Why has this happened? In the next time, what has to be done so that it will not happen? How can be creative? How can we be creative to avoid such kind of situations? What are the decision making skills which are required? Which kind of decisions should be taken quickly to avoid such kind of situations in the future? And what is your learning from this? If this is a failure, what did I learn from this failure? And to avoid this failure, what can be done in the future? And if I avoid this in the future, definitely I can focus on some great things. But many a times people focus on the things which cannot be sorted. Yesterday I told you that there is a principle of 90s 10. 10% of the things you cannot have control in your life. 10% of the things you cannot have control in your life. I'll write it somewhere because of Excel. It is considering that this is as a time, and this is showing some minutes numbers and other things as well. But the principle of 90 is 10, I'll write it in a different way. 90 is 10. It says that 10% of the things which you cannot control in the life, so do not focus on 10% of the things, focus on the 90% of things. But unfortunately, people focus on these things. Here I would like to support this point with one statement: do not let what you cannot do interfere with the things which you can do. So focus on the things which are 10%. Forget about the mistakes made by people which have resulted in hurting you. Forgive them. And if you have made the mistake, always say sorry, always apologize. I apologize for the inconvenience caused. We appreciate your efforts. If you apologize, if you forgive us, we appreciate your effort. Use such kind of things. But thinking grudges about someone, holding grudges about someone, that may be a troublesome example. If this is a glass, I have a power, God has given me power to hold it for a long time. How long will I be able to hold? If I have to prove something, I'll hold it for a long time. For 5 minutes, 10 minutes, that's okay to hold it. But if I hold it for the 2 hours, 5 hours, believe me, glass will not have any problem. But I will have pains in my fingers, my wrist, and my shoulders. So this glass is the problem created by other people. This glass are the comments created or passed on by other people about you. If I hold it for a long time, glass will not have any problem because that doesn't have a life. But a person who is me, who has a life, will be definitely in trouble. So it is all about holding the grudges about other people. Leave it, forget it, forgive it, but ensure that do not do not allow other people to take a control of your life once again. Learn the lesson from that. And to learn the lesson from that, you need to show extraordinary patience. And patience is not about how long can you wait. Patience is all about how do you behave while waiting. That is the patient. Someone has sent a text message in a chat box. Let me cross check. Okay. Okay, thank you, ma'am. So kind of you. So patience is all about how do you behave while being waited, or while waiting for something, or while waiting for someone. Patience, it's not about how long can you wait. It says it is all about how do you behave while waiting for something. When you have patience, you can see that your lifestyle, your perspective towards the problem will be different. You will always focus on the thing which are calm in the life. You will always look to have people surrounded by you which are calm, cool, and they are good one. And at the same time, if you are cool and calm, you will definitely think on the growth. You will be focusing on the things where the growth is essential for the nation, growth is essential for your country, your company, and your own financial growth as well. Here many a times this conflict management can help you to earn this cash. But to earn this cash, you should have this cash to have conflict management. The first K indicates it's a knowledge. First K indicates its knowledge. People may fight with you if they know more, but people who know more, they may tend to make mistakes as well. So first one is knowledge. Second one is, if you have knowledge, your attitude towards the problem will be definitely different. If you know how to solve the things, you will not be worried. But if you don't know how to solve the things, if you do not have knowledge, your attitude towards that problem will be always negative. So K for knowledge, A for attitude, S for skills, and H for hobbies or habits. So to earn this cash, you have to focus on these things. Now, believe me, these two things, knowledge and skills, you can acquire by experience, by reading, by listening to someone, by watching some videos, by learning, by practicals, by research and development, by errors. You will understand all these things. But these things will be developed by your day-to-day activities. If you have knowledge, believe me, your attitude will be always positive towards the problem. If you have these skills, your hobbies will be always about time management. It is all about stress management. It is all about punctuality. It is all about doing the things at the right time, uh, perfect timing, and everything. This can be done. But for this, you have to ensure that the first important thing is knowledge, and this knowledge can help you to change your behavior. It will help you to change your attitude. And once the things are done, you will be always focusing things what can be done, what should be avoided to avoid the conflicts. If these conflicts are continuously, what are the reasons behind that? Might be possible that people hate each other. As a leader, it's our duty, if in our team people are hating each other, then believe me, by the broken hearts no one can win. It has to be a win-win situation for everyone. Recent past, if I have to give the example of Indian cricket team, there was not something well and we have lost T20 World Cup. If there is there are some conflicts in a team, if there are certain conflicts in a team, it's a job of a management to ensure that we have to help them to sort out the things, sort out the problems. Otherwise, there will be a concern. And here, as an individual, if someone is criticizing you, take a criticism as a stepping stone. If people are shouting at you, ensure that you learn the lessons. If people are criticizing you, do not take it personally. Let's take an example. If I'm a call center employee, in a call center in a day, they get maximum calls if there is an inbound call center. And maximum calls are regarding complaints. The complaints may be my phone is not working, my services are not working, whatever it may be. And sometimes the callers can be abusive, callers can be angry, callers can be really irate customers. So here in this scenario, all the call center people, they have been told that you don't have to take the things personally. You are helping them to solve the issues, but if you take the things personally, you will not be able to work there continuously for a long time. So in a conflict management, remember one thing, you do not have to take the things personally. And if someone is criticizing you personally, no problem, you learn the things, take the criticism in a positive way, and ensure that you prove something better than the best. And this can be done only if you have patience, if you have hunger of learning new things. Yesterday I said one thing: investment in knowledge pays the highest rate of interest. And if you have your own product knowledge, you can manage the things properly. See, the thing is that in your life you will have to work with these three things. One is the product may be your job, your business, or your, let us say my training is my product, my passion is also my training, everything is all about training for me. So product. Second thing is process, how to complete the work, which are the areas to address, what is the process to complete the things. And the third one is people. Now, about product, you can learn everything from the book. About the process, you will learn from the process notes, and people can tell you. But reading about people, you can learn by experience. And in this experience, you might have good day, you may have bad day as well. So here in this scenario, patience pays the highest amount of appreciation, but at the same time, your knowledge will be really helpful for you, and knowledge can help you to learn more things. Here I have seen that many people do not know what is their product, what is the process, and how the people are there with them. So ensure that management ensures that if you are perfect with the knowledge, you can solve all the problems in your life. Now the time is less, and I have to show you one video as well. This video will have a background of one conflict. And there was one guy. This is the story when we were known as a colony of Britishers, and we were colony of Britishers for almost 150 years. Here in this scenario, Britishers, they have ruled us, and they have taught us something good. They had bullied us as well, and there was some good things, some bad things as well. But during this time, there was one movie, and this movie has been produced by some great people, and the actor was Amir Khan. The movie is all about Lagan. This Lagan movie is of 3.5 hours. We'll not have a movie because we have been given limited time, but at the same time we'll be talking about the things which can be learning, I mean to say, which can be utilized to have a conflict resolution. And here in this video, at the bottom of this video, you will find certain statements that may be motivational statements, or those statements can be useful to solve the conflicts. So I recommend you to enjoy this video. After this video, we'll have some more discussion, then we'll have question answer session, and later on we'll be talking about the second topic. But before that, we'll take a small break. Now, according to the time, we are going perfect. Now I would like to share that screen of video, and I want your confirmation. If you can hear it properly, please let me know. This is the screen. I will increase the zoom percentage of the screen, and we are going to play one video for you. Give me a moment. Okay, I'll stop it because I want to have confirmation from you. If the sound of video is clear, I'll play it once again. If it is clear, I recommend you to please type Y in the chat box. Please type Y in a chat box. Please type Y in the chat box if you can hear this video. No voice. That's fine. That's fine. Okay. I'll stop it once again. Give me a moment. Give me a moment. Give me a moment. Now, please confirm. Now, please confirm. Is it audible now? Is it
No, sir.
audible now?
No, sir.
Oh. I have removed my microphone headphone. Still, it is not audible. Once again, I'll try. Give me a moment. Give me a moment once again. Give me a moment. I'm trying with some other options. Okay, I've started downloading it. Might be some reasons of restriction, and that might be the reason that I'm not. I mean to say you are not able to hear that. I mean to say sound is not clear to you. But I have started downloading it, and once it is done, we can utilize that. Let us come back to the screen once again. Give me a moment. Meanwhile, a final try. Yeah, please let me know. Is it audible now? Is it audible?
No, sir, it is not audible.
No, it's not audible. Okay. That might be because of some restrictions of admin. That's fine. I'll stop it. Okay, not an issue. Give me a moment. Let me connect my headset. Give me a moment. I'm so sorry for the inconvenience caused, and we'll run this video later on. Don't worry. We'll run it later on. Yeah. While talking about the conflict resolution, I said that I'll show you certain videos, but unfortunately couldn't be done. No problem. We have an alternative. So in solving conflict, always be ready with plan B. If conflict doesn't get solved, people are not agreed with the solution, please have a plan B. Take an opinion of other people, what they are saying. Oh, okay. Someone has sent a big message. I'll read it later on. Okay. And there are the questions. We'll be dealing with these questions later on. As I promised, park your questions. We'll be talking about these questions later on. Yeah, I was talking that while dealing with the conflicts or solving with the resolution, you have to ensure that you always are ready with plan B. Even though people are criticizing your opinion, even people are not cool and calm, they might be shouting, they might be saying that you are wrong, he is wrong, she is wrong, they are not listening to me. So here in this scenario, you have to ensure that you don't lose cool and calm. And if you have knowledge of product, process and people, you can manage the conflict appropriately. You can manage the things personally, you can manage while talking to the people in a team, you can manage the things while setting out the differences, while allowing people to have conversation with each other, or you can have a brainstorming solution. You can give them an example. Sometimes I go for counseling as well. Many people come to me and they say that there are negative situations in the life. So here I recommend them to read a lot, and if possible read from the history. Our history has been blessed with some of the great personalities like Shivaji Maharaj, Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. So many people are there, so you can learn about them. So might be possible that some unhappy people, some people which they are there with some failures, will always have negativity. They will not listen to you. And here you just need to cross check with the people what is the primary motivating factor. PMF, primary motivating factor. Some people do not love to be, or some people do not like to be watched. Some people do not like to be controlled. Some people needs a freedom. Some people love to have some democracy or democratic leadership. Now the thing is that as a leader here, you have to make a contribution by understanding the psychology of people. Some people do not like to be controlled. Some people always need a push to start working. Some people feel that they are working, they don't need it, but they are working just to kill the time. So everyone has a different motivating factor. For me, primary motivating factor may be my liberty. For me, my personal happiness, or helping each other, that may be my primary motivating factor. And you have to understand what is the primary motivating factor of people by talking to them, while have discussion with them. One-on-one discussion can help to solve most of the problems. And in conflict management, that is the most essential, to have one-on-one discussion. Yesterday, as I told you earlier, if you remember one sentence, as a leader, if you have to solve some problems, appreciate people publicly and scold or criticize them personally. Personal criticism, people forget it because that is not done in front of others. But if it is done in front of others, they will take it in a negative way. I have seen some parents, they talk to their kids in front of the friends, and kids do not like that. I have seen some couples, they fight with each other in front of their relatives. If wife has done something good, appreciate her, but that appreciation has to be done in front of her parents, in front of her relatives. I generally follow this. And if wife makes a mistake, I do not complain about that mistake to the parents. I tell her that this is wrong, or this is your mistake, but we do not shout at each other. As a teacher, most of the great teachers, they have experience while dealing with the youngsters who are rigid in understanding most of the instructions. So while talking to them, teachers take them personal conversation, and teacher talk to them personally, and teacher criticize them, and teacher tell them that this is the wrong way of learning, and this is the way which can be troublesome for you. But if teacher shouts at them in front of their friends, they will never forget, because human psychology does not forget the things which were insulting for them in front of others. And human psychology always gets motivated in someone appreciates them in front of others. So a small rule for teacher student relationship, husband wife relationship, boss junior relationship, and father and I mean to say parents and kids relationship. Appreciate people publicly and criticize them personally. This can be a really great way of managing conflict and avoiding future conflicts. At the same time, if you want to support someone which is or who is under a tremendous pressure, maybe personal issues, financial issues, economical issues, maybe relationship issues, and there might be various reasons of stress. So always be ready to support, always be a support system. Guide people to follow something, ask them to read a lot. And if you want to know something about the historical book, I recommend you to read a book which is Mahanayak. This Mahanayak book has so many situations where there were conflicts. Mahanayak book is all about Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, written by Vishwas Patil. I guess the author name is correct and book name is also correct. So if you read this book, you will come to know the conflicts have been resolved. The conflicts have been solved by these people very carefully. There was another issue of Treaty of Purandar Fort that is related to Shivaji Maharaj. पुरंदरचा तह मराठीत म्हटलं जातं. In this treaty, Shivaji Maharaj had to give most of the things which he has earned since his childhood. But later on, he has managed everything and he has grabbed everything. After the death of Sambhaji Maharaj, the Maratha Empire, they have fought in a great way. They have captured everything. Please keep yourself on a mute mode. I can hear some voices. Yeah, participants, a small request. Please keep yourself on a mute mode. Yeah, who is that? Please keep yourself on a mute mode because your voice can be disturbance to others. Yeah, I was talking about the history examples. If I have to give the examples of conflict management, Rocket Singh is one of the great examples. If I want you to be motivated with some conflict management, Jo Jita Wo Sikandar is one of the best examples of movies. Apart from books, we have been blessed with Bollywood industry where there are 2500 per year the movies get produced. We have some helpings from Tollywood, that is Tamil and Telugu movies, movies of South, movies of actions, movies of fighting, and movies of imagination. At the same time, we have been blessed with Marathi film industry where the movies are unique nowadays. Each kind of movie can help us to understand how to deal with people. But here most common thing will be that communication makes a huge difference, and communication skills that can begin at the end of our comfort zone. Comfort zone, it means we always look for the things which are familiar to us. We always look for the things which are comfortable to us. Example, let me give you. If this is the offline training, and let us say that we are in a classroom. Unfortunately, when I or when trainer comes in a training room, he or she finds that most of the peoples always check for the last benches because last benches are the most comfortable for them. And if I'm in a wedding ceremony and if people are unknown to me, I always look for my relatives, always look for my friends. If I'm a birthday party, I always look for the known people. Why? That is the comfort zone. And ensure that at the end of comfort zone, this communication skills begins. So communication, it's an essential part which says that talk to people rather than talking about people. Solve the issues, send the information, provide them with the information. At the same time, ensure that knowledge has to be spread. Knowledge can be spread by sharing some examples, demonstrating something, giving some examples with the action. And as a leader, if you are a leader, if you are a trainer, if you are a teacher, if you are a parent or a father mother, then in this scenario you have to demonstrate something and ensure that conflicts can be avoided if you can delegate the works properly. Delegates the work properly. Yesterday, as I told you earlier, delegation of work can help you to manage the time as well. Delegation of work can help people to complete the work within the stipulated time. And if I delegate the things properly, people will not feel burdened. Let us assume that I have 25 employees in my office and I ask only 5 people to work hard, and 20 people are resting. They're roaming here and there, they're chatting on WhatsApp, they're wasting my time, and at the same time they're using my internet to find a new job. So my delegation system is wrong. I may be in trouble and I'll have future conflicts with them. But these 5 people will be always under huge burden, under pressure, under stress, and they will think of quitting the job. Instead of this, if I distribute this work properly, believe me, there will be a great distribution of the work, and this all 25 people will have good time and nobody will get burdened. Another example of delegation. Let us say that I'm in office and my wife, she says that my mother is coming by a train or a flight or by a bus. Could you please pick her up in the evening after your office hours? I said, okay, I'll do it. I'll manage it. Now this work has been distributed from my wife to me, or it has been assigned from my wife to me. We have decided that we'll be helping each other, so work has been distributed. But in the evening, what happens that my office says that we'll have important meeting. We'll have an important meeting. So here in this scenario, I will talk to my wife and I say that I have an important meeting, therefore I won't be able to pick up mother-in-law. So she says, you always have such kind of things for my relatives and other things, and she starts shouting or she starts fighting. In this scenario, I give her another option. Will it be fine if I send someone using my car? Will it be fine if I send my colleague, my junior, or my friend, or someone else who can pick her up? Will it be okay? Or will it be fine if I give her an access of Ola, Uber? Will it be okay if I book her Ola and Uber? What am I doing? While delegation of the work, there are certain things which cannot be under your control. As I told you earlier, that meeting can be scheduled in the evening, and mother-in-law is also coming in the evening. So delegation of work can be troublesome. So here I'm saying no, but while saying no, what am I doing? I'm giving her option. Will it be okay if I send my colleague? Will it be okay if I send my friend? Or will it be fine if I book my Ola and book Ola Uber car for her? So what am I giving? Options. These options can help me to be away from the troubles, and these options can help me to solve most of the problems. To be frank, if I talk continuously about conflict management, it may take a long time, and we can speak continuously for a day as well. However, we have been given limited amount of time, and we have to complete it well within the stipulated time. Therefore, I'll be dealing with certain questions which have been raised in a chat box. Meanwhile, other people, they may unmute and they may ask questions, or they may type it in a chat box, and you may let me know if you have any question. And if you do not have questions, let me deal with the questions which have been already posted in the chat box. Okay, there is a big question, let me read it first. Someone has already, is there any other question? Okay, no other question, but there are good feedbacks for me. Thank you very much for your kind word. Fantastic. Now let me have a question. How to overcome opportunistic people with bad attitude who take advantage of two people conflict? They are using divide and rule technique. Initially they were behaving best with the one person, but now they are good with only person second and asking one person to join them. Fantastic. It's all about the relationship management, it is all about the conflict management, it is all about the human psychology, it is all about the rule which you have already said, divide and rule. Here what can be done, let me tell you. Now the thing is that you have understood that the first person is using divide and rule between second and third person. Now you have understood that first person is playing certain games, dirty games, politics, whatever it may be. But the second person, I mean to say, second person have understood, but the third person hasn't understood. So what has to be done? You have to have word with the third and second person. If these problems get sorted with second and third person, believe me, first person will not be able to interfere in between these two people, and first person will not be able to take undue advantage of the bad relationship between second and third person. So as a second person, if this is happening with me, first person is taking undue advantage of such situations, it's my duty, it's my responsibility to have a discussion with third person, sort out the issues, tell him or her that these are the situations and we are fighting with each other, and third person is taking benefit of this. Let's take global scenario as example. At present, Russia and Ukraine are fighting with each other. Other people are looking for the opportunities. Some people are looking for the opportunities. They are claiming that they have been saving lives, and some people are making videos of that and posting on social media. At the same time, some countries, they are taking advantage of a scenario where they can get the contract of international or other countries, where they can sell gases, they can sell oils, and some people are thinking that the prices of oil will be increased and will be benefited under this. But if second person and third person can solve the issues, now let us say that Russia and Ukraine, they come together, they solve everything. Believe me, third party does not need to have any interference or interference in this. So here, you know that first person is taking advantage, first person is opportunistic, a first person wants to take advantage, and first person always wants to take the benefit of such kind of situations. So have a discussion with second and third person, tell him or her that it's our own loss, because other people can take undue advantages. So a solution for this is that second and third person should be coming together, and they should solve the issues within themselves. They do not need to bring it to some other people, and that may be troublesome otherwise. Then there is a second question: how to avoid conflict if there are genuine reasons of conflict of interest? Okay, now this question is all about human psychology. Let me give you some examples to solve this. The conflict is genuine, that's fine. Conflict cannot be avoided, that is also fine, but the lessons can be learned from certain conflicts, and every conflict has an end. Every conflict has an end. People may feel that I won, you lost, or you won, I lost. Some people may apologize, some people may say that is my mistake, next time I'll ensure that mistakes will not happen. Mistake, because mistakes are painful, but the lessons learned from the mistakes may be really sweet. And if conflict cannot be avoided, if that is not under your control, then ensure that such kind of mistakes do not get repeated in future. If mistakes happen, that may be mistake for the first time. If mistake is happening second time, that may be coincident. But if mistake is happening third time, that's a foolishness. So to avoid conflict, a certain up to certain limit you can try. But if conflict cannot be avoided, if people have different thought process, if people are saying that no, this is the best way to complete this is the second way to complete this is the best way. Now personal interest does not come in the solution here. The interest which can be beautiful for the organization, the output which can be beautiful for the society, the output which can be really great for the nation. Ultimate aim of both of the people is simple, but here the output which can be initiated by some great people and which can be great for some societies, some students, or some colleagues, or some friends, then here in this scenario, let the conflict happen, but ensure that conflict does not destroy the relationships as well. Conflict can be sorted out, can be proven that this is my way and this is the best one, and every activity can be solved by many ways. Only the thing is that which way you have to adapt, which way is beneficial for the society. It is not about you and me, it is all about we. So ensure that if you cannot avoid the conflict, prove certain things, and ask other people to give the feedback about this. Other people will always support you. Ask other people to criticize if possibly. Ask other people to show them areas of improvement. Ask everyone, and believe me, if conflicts cannot be avoided, still you can learn the lessons from that. Now last I've been more questions, how to deal with workers for the good of a business. It is all about management skills, it is all about leadership skills. Leaders can be there with different perspectives. If I'm a democratic guy, I may give freedom to the juniors or co-workers or employees to work better than the best in their own way. That's a democratic leadership, but at the same time I want result as well. I will tell them that whatever you do, you use any style, your own style, but at the end of the day, I need a result. That's a democratic leadership. Another way of leadership, that is autocratic leadership. When you find that people are not listening properly, they need a push, they need a nudge, then democratic leadership will not work. When the higher authority needs a higher amount of decision and that decision may be proven costly in terms of economical loss, then you have to be autocratic leadership. Autocratic leadership means dictatorship. Here not the exact dictatorship, but autocratic leadership, it means you ask people, you keep these people accountable, and ask these people to complete the task. So if it is good for your organization, prove it that ultimately my aim is simple, we are working for the betterment of our organization. This is your style. If I get the result perfectly, and if this result doesn't hurt anyone, if it is better, and if it is win-win situation for everyone, I have no issues adapting your working style. But if needs to be done with some other things, then I will interfere in between, I'll peep up in between, and I will cross check, I'll review in between, and I want you to follow this. At the end of the day, win-win situation, nobody gets hurt, nobody gets have a feeling that I have been rejected, I have been neglected, I have been suffering with problems of relationships. Ensure that end of the day, win-win situation, that makes a huge difference. So to tackle with all the questions which have been raised in last 3 to 4 questions, we may need another solution that's all about leadership skills. In future, if opportunity is given, definitely we'll have a session for that topic, and leadership skills or management skills can be conducted in future. We'll be talking about this. I hope I have given you answers, and those answers are correct according to the questions asked by you. So bunch of thanks for your questions. I'm very happy that you have raised some questions and brought to my notice. I tried my best to give you perfect answers, but still there are certain areas which can be spoken about, and due to time constraint we won't be able to do this. So I request everyone to ask me other questions if you have, and if you don't have any question, please type all clear in a chat box. And if the questions are clear, I mean to say, if everything is clear, please type all clear in a chat box, and we can take a small break, and after break we'll go for negotiation skills. Okay, I got one response. All clear. What about others?